everybody, it's Friday, and this is No Apologies on Beck, where we are unafraid to speak the truth. I am your host, Rick Becker, our co-host, Lori Hintz.
Glad to be here. Glad it's Friday.
Yes.
So, yes, I know that's true.
So, I'm excited. We've got Charles Tuttle tonight, and that guy's got his hands in everything.
It's all true.
Everything.
We'll give you lots and lots of information tonight. You know you're going to get lots of information. So.
All right, and then we've got Off the Cuff, which I always love.
It's my favorite.
Because I don't have to prepare.
Right, and then we will also do a mailbag today, and we've got some really interesting stuff in our mailbag as well, so that'll be fun. So to start off tonight, we are going to talk a little bit about why it maybe took 65 days to have an actual transparent Biden administration and have a first press conference.
Well, I'm going to say that we still don't have a transparent Biden administration, but I know what you're saying. We finally got a press conference.
Yes.
And it was an interesting one. And
interesting can be a really nebulous word.
Because I think he's got dementia issues, and every time he comes out with something like this, although this is his first press conference, I'm looking and I'm seeing these clues, and it was just weird, and I feel uncomfortable watching it, and I feel uncomfortable
really.
Pointing it out. Yeah. But they covered several things, and I was happy because not every single question was a softball question. They certainly weren't fast pitches, but he talked about the filibuster a little bit, and he's definitely up for ending it, and what he's doing is positioning it as this racial thing.
Oh, of course.
He keeps going to the filibuster is Jim Crow. That's filibuster, Jim Crow, folks. For the next 2 months or however long, every time you hear about the Dems talking about the filibuster, you're going to hear Jim Crow, and they're going to equate it with racism. We must eradicate racism, therefore we must eradicate the filibuster.
So get ready for the talking points, because that's how they roll. They will beat us over the head with that in the mainstream media.
And remember, when they get rid of the filibuster, they get rid of the Second Amendment, and they get rid of the First Amendment, and they completely change election laws so that only their party will win in the future vis-a-vis election fraud.
Exactly.
So yes, gun control was another topic.
Oh, interesting. And that is not at all surprising to me in light of what's been happening with some shootings recently. And of course, never let a crisis go to waste.
Yeah. No, he didn't cover a lot of stuff, but what he basically, because they're working in the background. He wants gun control. He put out a memorandum right after he was sworn in, put out essentially another memorandum, or at least a statement saying he wants something done now.
Right.
We know about the Sabika Sheik bill, HR 127, is sitting in the hopper. So we know that they want it. And the statements they've made after this last shooting and the crazy misinformation they're putting out about this AR-15, which it wasn't, but to them it was black, so that's the same thing.
Right.
But basically what he said today is, yes, definitely we're going to do gun control, but it's all about timing.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
That's it.
You know, I've noticed too, I don't know if this is a correlated topic, but have you noticed that flags have been half-staffed, like, permanently now? All of a sudden we can't even... You know what I mean?
Lori, I'm telling you, I know I have no emotions, and I am just a shell of a human being with no heart and no soul, but I have said for a long time, and now it's just reinforced over and over, if I was governor, you would not see the flag at half-mast unless it was someone in North Dakota or something tremendously significant, not everything that the president happens to say, hey, let's do a flag at half-mast.
It just seems
it's just too much.
I keep driving around like, when is the flag ever going to go back up again? Because this is like...
It's too much.
And it seems like one after another. So anyway, sorry, I digress. I'm sorry about that. But
no, it's too damn much.
It's frustrating.
Put the flag back up.
I know, I concur. I agree.
Or just cut the flagpole in half and leave it there. Maybe that's what we should do. All right.
Good solution.
The other thing that was talked about, and really I think it was the thrust of the press conference, is certainly the focus of questions, and that is what's going on at the border. Right. Because it's a crap show, and there's no getting around it. And even the media that wants to be so apologetic for Biden,
they did still have to ask questions.
They're compelled to ask questions.
Well, I was pleased to hear that. That was a big thing for me, because if you're going to completely ignore something that is so egregious and so massive right now, then you're really obvious. So they kind of would have outed themselves as mainstream press if they hadn't at least mentioned it, right?
Yep. So Vice President Harris has been tapped to lead the situation going on at the border. So people are very unimpressed with that as an option. I know I heard just a few days ago, it was this week, when she was asked if she's going to the border.
She laughed.
She said, "You mean today?" Ha ha ha.
Cackle, cackle. I was not
And then
impressed
she said,
with
"I've
it.
been to the border, and I'm sure I'll go again." Like what? There was a non-answer, not taking it seriously, knowing that there's an ongoing crisis right now. That was her answer. That's pathetic.
It is.
And that's because her handlers didn't prepare her, and she, of course, doesn't have a clue. Arizona Governor Ducey said she's the worst possible choice. Worst possible choice.
And that's coming from Ducey.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And it was in Reason, in theblaze.com. They went back and referenced her when she was on the presidential campaign.
Right.
July 2019, she is tweeting out. Of course, you know, it's all platitudes. It's all real easy. Trump pushed policies that's been about putting babies in cages, a human rights abuse committed by the U.S. government. And then she goes on to say in a different tweet, "I will release children from cages. I will get rid of private detention centers." And
just saying, do we maybe have something that we could show that
show
is
a
like
little pic
what's
there.
going to actually? Oh, look at that. That's really.
Maybe she's going to go down and release these children.
Wow.
I don't know. And that's only one of many.
They're sleeping on floors.
There's at least
people.
one detention type facility down there that's at 1,556% capacity. They're jammed in there.
I feel so.
They are
this is
jammed
a human
in there.
Tragedy.
So it was a tragedy, and Trump was a rotten, evil to the core human being, and yet what they've done is magnified it so much worse. There were 100,000 detentions at the border in February of 2021. Last month, 100,000 detentions.
That's not even March yet.
You go to Trump's time, February of 2000, 1 year ago, 37,000 detentions.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's a 170% increase thanks to the Biden-Harris administration.
You know, when you invite everyone in and you stop the building of the wall and you do everything that you can to make sure that the signals are out there, this is what happens. It's not rocket science.
There's also an issue with transparency, as you pointed out before. This administration is completely lacking in transparency. When asked about the transparency, because they have essentially a blackout on what's going on down at the border. I heard Senator Ted Cruz say he was going down there, but they're not permitted to bring any media with them.
Isn't that insane?
Not permitted. Biden said, "I will commit to transparency, and as soon as I'm in a position to be able to implement what we're doing right now." So, and he said I know that sounds weird, but that's how he talks, right?
Right. That's true.
But what he's saying, he's acknowledging, yeah, I know that we're not transparent. I know we're not letting you see what's going on at the border.
But we will soon. We'll let you see once we get our stuff together.
And translated means once we have this crap show situated that's not showing us failing as miserably as we are, once we have it cleaned up, then we're going to let you come in. And what's it called? The Potemkin Village. When the Russians set up a fake village with the grocery store and stuff, and it was set up to make it look good for the journalists that were there from overseas. That's what the Biden administration is going to do.
We're waiting for the theater, and you can bet that there will be theater down the line, no question.
There's even cities on the border that are declaring a state of emergency because of they're being completely overrun by
Border Patrol is
Mayor of
overwhelmed.
Gila Bend in Arizona.
Gila Bend.
Gila?
Gila.
Oh, like a Gila monster.
Gila monster, Gila Bend.
I get it. Thank you for correcting me.
Okay.
All right, next up, we are going to have our guest, Charles Tuttle. Hang with us.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work. Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
Hey Bucks fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks!
Welcome back. This is No Apologies on Beck, and we have special guest with us, Charles Tuttle, who is the host of the Tuttle Rebuttal podcast.
Good way to say that. That's hard to say, Tuttle Rebuttal.
Tuttle Rebuttal, yes.
So thanks for being with us, Charles.
It's a
Appreciate
pleasure.
it.
I'm glad to be
you
here.
are, I don't know, I'm sure there's a term that would apply to you, but I mean, you're like everywhere. You've got your hands in everything. Every time I turn around, there you are with a position on something.
I'm a political junkie.
You are.
I'm a political junkie, and you know it's amazing that I don't see that in our legislators. I don't see that in our Congress people. They just don't have a passion for all these
Oh, I don't know.
issues.
I just got elected, and I'm kind of a
Oh,
political
I know
junkie.
you are.
I'm kind of
you
a
and
junkie.
I started way back when fighting Common Core.
We did.
Remember that?
That's exactly right. I was going to ask you about your Tuttle Rebuttal podcast. How long have you been doing that for now?
Well, actually, it's a Facebook and it's a website.
Ah.
So actually about 3 years now.
Good for you.
So yeah, and I want everybody who knows me knows I'm the biggest Trump supporter in the state.
Oh.
So I came to give Lori this.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Can you guys zoom in this? You have to be able to see
The
this.
backside is big on there,
Oh,
Lori.
I'm so excited. I
thanks,
love
Charles.
this
Becker.
right here.
I always call him Dr. Becker.
Oh, and I saw this.
Representative.
It says Trump girl on it. Oh, thank you, Charles.
Yes.
This is so kind.
Yes.
Let's see, at least you can see it. Oh, I love this. This is fabulous. I like mine better than yours.
No way, man. Oh, wait, it's a
But
little
you
tight.
couldn't wear Trump girl anyway.
There you
Thank
go.
you very much.
welcome.
I
What do you like
love
about
it. You
this
know, and
hat?
I am a Trump girl.
I know
That's
that.
awesome. Thank you
I
very
know
much.
that.
Do I
I'm
look
excited.
like Secret Service?
You know what? You don't see
Wait,
your
just-
glasses
That's actually
glaring
the
anywhere there.
presidential
Do they talk
seal
like this?
with
Yeah.
his autograph.
Nice.
Yes.
That's very nice.
I'd like some assistance.
Has everybody seen my Trump ring?
Oh my goodness, you have a Trump
see,
ring.
I've had
All right,
that
you have
for
to
years
hold.
now.
Oh, for heaven's sakes!
See,
Okay, you have to
most
hold it
people-
very still,
There you
very,
go.
very still,
There you
so
go.
that they
That's
can
a-
get a shot of it. It is, and the hair
Have
is
you-
even gold. That cracks
Yep,
me up.
yep.
Oh
Have
my
you ever
gosh.
punched anyone and left
No,
a track?
actually, that's been a running joke. People say you can leave a tattoo on a liberal. A liberal. I was gonna use the other word, but no, a liberal. Yeah.
Oh, that's
We
so
can't
funny.
say that, so.
Well, let's talk some
Yeah,
political.
we're going to be
stuff.
covering all sorts of things. It's kind of like a free-for-all, Charles. Before we go there, actually, I just wanted to point out that you've had some you've had some campaign experience yourself. And
I have.
In 2018, you ran for U.S. House.
I ran for the U.S. House.
And you really, I think people really took note of you because you gave a just basically from the heart speech, and it resonated with the delegates that were there. And I heard a lot of comments afterward. And so I think that what you have to say is something that a lot of people are feeling and thinking. Did you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, it's actually funny because I drove all the way about 28 hours from California directly to, I think it was Grand Forks, right? The Alaris?
Yeah.
It was the Alaris. I drove right in and walked in, and the first thing I see is all these, I think Tom Campbell and Kelly Armstrong, they had all their tables, they had all their fancy stuff, and their shirts they're handing out and signs, and I had nothing, okay, other than, my thoughts. And they asked me, what's your speech going to be? I don't know. You have to have your speech written out. I don't have a speech written out. It's here, right here. It's in here. And I got up, and that's what I did. I mean, the reason I ran was because we aren't supporting Donald Trump. And I think we've all realized now that never happened. We never got behind Donald Trump as a party, and it's still going on. And that's the reason I ran, was because I wanted to make sure that people understood we need to support this president and everything that this president stood for. The First Amendment, the right to life, all the things that this president, it goes along with every Republican principle that we have. And yet, the Republicans weren't behind him. And it just baffled me, and still baffles me to this day, why there isn't an army of us behind this man like the Democrats are behind all the bad things that they're doing. And they all circle the wagons. No matter what happens, they all circle the wagons. And they survive any immoral thing you can possibly imagine.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I am a Trump fan. Just saying here, what did you
call yourself?
A Trump fan.
Trump fan.
I'm a Trump fan.
I thought you said Trumpette, which you could be.
I could be a Trumpette too. I'd totally be good with that. Yeah.
I actually went to D.C. on the 6th. And you know what's sad about that was there was 1.3 million people there. 1.3 million.
We never heard that.
There was a sea of people, and there were ladies with walkers, men with walkers. When I was driving there, I actually encountered 8 nuns. I gave all 8 nuns my scarf, so they all had scarves, and they all followed Trump. These were Dominican nuns, and you never hear about that. When you get there, I find out they pinged us, they tracked us, they tracked our bank accounts, they tracked everything. Wow. We are in a dark state. I use the Jimmy Stewart story, It's a Wonderful Life, and right now, Potterville is dark. And that's America right now, it's dark. I mean, this president we're talking about, he can't even, he has a cue card. When you were talking about the press conference, he had to look at his card to decide who he was going to ask the next question. So he had all these reporters on a cue card who were actually going to ask him a question.
So it was pre-planned out.
It's all pre-planned out. And he can't even handle that. I saw him in a room. I don't know if it didn't look like the Oval Office, but he was in a room. Kamala Harris was next to him, and somebody was barking, what are we going to do next? What's next? When Donald Trump came into a room, he commanded the room. I mean, I'll never forget when that he was just unbelievable. He went into a room where all the restaurants were closed. He had the national championship team, and what did he do? Burger King, McDonald's, all of that, and he paid for it. He took over everything that he was doing. He knew where he was going, what his vision was.
Yeah.
And that's the problem we have today. And I see that in North Dakota. No one has a vision in North Dakota. And, I have a vision in North Dakota. North Dakota is wealthy beyond belief. You're in the legislature. You know some of the things that are out there and the monies that are being stored away here, stored away there. We're finding out that the counties, we've got, Montreal County has $196 million in the bank. I had a friend call me the other night. Williston's going to pay for a hospital. And he said, how can they pay for a hospital? They don't have any money. They were broke. I said, they're not broke. What are you talking about? So I called up the auditor. Hey, what's the budget of the Williston? Oh, they got $93 million in the bank, cash. Williams County, $100 million cash in the bank. So, you know, when, I'll never forget, we had, I don't know, I ran for superintendent of public instruction, okay? And, you know, the thing was, I said, property tax is not supposed to be used to fund schools. It says right in the Constitution, the Legislative Assembly shall provide for a uniform system of free public schools throughout the state. That's quote. Then you go to Public Finance and Debt, Article 10, and it says the Legislative Assembly shall be prohibited from defraying the expenses of the state, which are schools, to the levying of assessed value of real or personal property. I just had somebody text me a second ago saying, where did you get that in the Constitution? It's in the state Constitution, not in the federal. Yep. Mm-hmm. And we had a bill in front of this legislature to stop the unconstitutional use of the property tax to fund schools, and he got 4 votes in the Senate.
Wow.
You know, we came up with an idea. We want to get rid of abortion clinics, right? Get rid of abortion clinics, you get rid of abortion, right?
Right.
So it's simple. You know, how do you get rid of a bookstore, and you know, an adult bookstore or strip club? You zone them out, right? So hey, we come up with this idea to get 30 miles. You can't have an abortion clinics within 30 miles of a school. Right?
Oh, that's a great idea, really.
We did get 13 votes in the Senate on that one.
Well, that's better.
But it's like,
still.
And I just remember people saying, well, you're trying to stop abortion. Yes, exactly. That's what North Dakota's about. I moved here years ago because I saw a really strong Catholic church here. Mm-hmm. And I saw the values. I was stuck in Steel gas station in a blizzard for 2 nights, 2 days. And it was the most wonderful experience. I could not believe the people, you know, like I just told you, I had a fire. I lost everything before the pandemic. The people that reached out and gave us gift cards, and, you know, we were better off than the people that lost their jobs in that during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I call it plandemic.
Yeah. Listen, take a breath.
Okay.
You are exactly right, and I think that it needs to be said again that the way we are funding education with property tax is actually unconstitutional, folks. It truly is. That's not just a wacky thing. So as you can see, our guest has a lot of passion, and we are going to be back for another segment with some more passion. Hang with us.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with 1 truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make 1 call. Aero Service Team does it all.
We're the ladies of Another View, bringing you a fresh view on local issues.
Thank you for your patience and understanding.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that the most condescending, rude email you've ever received?
Well, welcome to
National
the 3rd term of a certain president. I really believe that.
And different perspectives you won't get on the mainstream media. Watch us weekday afternoons at 4:30 Central Time on Beck News and at beck.news.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with 1 truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make 1 call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You got to know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York to go. We deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Hey, we're back. It's No Apologies on Beck, and we've got the host of the Tuttle Rebuttal podcast with us, Charles Tuttle. And you said you want to talk about Luke?
Sure, we can talk about Luke.
Okay. Do you like my hat?
I like your hat.
It looks nice.
I think I'm looking younger.
You're getting some street cred there. Yeah.
I'm looking a lot younger
Get some
right
street
now.
cred for that. Yes.
All right, so let's get serious.
Yes.
Wait.
There,
Okay.
now
There you
that's
go.
serious.
Yeah, you want to talk about Luke? Let's talk about Luke. Go for it.
Well, we're actually, as a group of us citizens, looking at maybe filing a lawsuit or rid of what's called a coranto. And what we want to do is we want to question the authority that the legislature has to actually remove a legislator with no grounds. I mean, the defining moment in that whole saga was when Jeff Holberson turned around and asked Chet Pollard, what exactly is Luke Simons guilty of? And Chet Pollard's response was, he doesn't have to be guilty of anything.
Wow.
And folks, when you think about that, that means that, okay, that tomorrow we're going to get rid of all the real conservatives. We're all going to, there's a block of legislators that decided we don't like these people, and we're going to remove them because a 2/3 vote's all we need. I argue that the Constitution says that the power is always reserved to the people. And that when you disenfranchise voters for no reason at all, and we can go into the semantics of the false accusations and the tactics that went on behind closed. There was a legislator calling people up, crying on the phone, begging them. She called legislators 3 and 4 times. It was just unseemly. And what's really happened is our legislature, and I've talked to other legislators right now, is you could cut the tension in that legislature with a butter knife right now. And they have totally destroyed the spirit of what the legislative intent of working is about.
You think that people are actually afraid for their seats now because this is it's a precedent now, and that they're like, well, I'm on the chopping block next.
They better be. They better be. And I was really happy to see in a district meeting that they actually censured 2 of the legislators that voted against Luke. And I hope that all the districts out there, if the Republican districts that are conservative, if they don't understand that we have legislators that are not conservative, that pretend to be Republicans. And that's what Luke stood for. And I know that offended a lot of them. But when we have legislators that actually rate lower than the highest Democrat, Marvin Nelson, and we do, and I won't mention names, I get accused of using people's names. I'll do that on my own show. So I mean, I heard Joel Heitkamp get upset. He didn't know me, I guess, on your show one time. And when I was on his radio show, he was actually going through the list of donors to Luke Simons and naming them off on the radio. And then after I got off of the radio with him, he had made a comment, evidently, I can't have that Tuttle back on here again. He was using people's names. And it's like, okay. When I actually asked Beck TV to do a Hannity and Combs with me and Joel. I would love to do that with Joel Heitkamp, because the Democrats don't have any ideas that are really logical or sensible. Again, I saw Kirsten Baszler on the Joel Heitkamp show tonight, and they're going to give the schools $300 million. You know where that money comes from? My pocket, your pocket, your pocket. That money comes from us. It's not just, oh, Joe Biden can write a check. That's coming from that's our children's future. And yet, $300 million, we've got schools out there right now. And I heard her say, oh, well, we can increase or lower the student-teacher ratio. In North Dakota, we have the lowest student-teacher ratio of any in the country. It's 1 teacher to every 12 students. And we look at schools like Partial and schools that are pushing their teachers to get the COVID vaccine. I won't say the name of the school.
Already did it.
They're spending $20-some thousand a student. And you know what their proficiency rate is? I actually talked to the superintendent of that school today. And their proficiency rate is 11% in math. It's 30% in reading and writing. You know, we were watching the state basketball tournaments and we were wondering, a friend of mine, we knew what the proficiency scores of these schools were, and I'm wondering, how are these kids able to participate in sports if they're failing? What is wrong with us? And then Kirsten's like, well, we could spend more money. Spend more money for what? Our average teacher is making $81,144 a year. That includes their benefits, their whole package. That's the average. When we got superintendents making $160,000 plus a year. This school that we're talking about this wants to give the vaccines, they've got 3 principals, 3 assistant principals, 2 assistant superintendents, 1 superintendent. They have, I think it was on the Chris Berg show, someone just told me there's 100 and some employees there for 283 students. Okay.
Wow.
They even have a social worker on staff there, a counselor and a social worker. And we're getting 11% proficiency. I mean, we're just not getting anything for our money. And I'm going to tell people right now, if you've got your kids in public schools in North Dakota, you better get them out because it's intentional. They're not teaching phonics. They're not teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic. They're teaching gender. Let's go with the gender issue next. You know, I call it gender confusion. And I fought the transgender bathroom law in California 20 years ago. We actually had a petition to protect the other children's privacy. What these children are doing is invading the privacy of the majority of children. They're wanting to go into the showers and shower with these kids of the opposite gender biologically. And we've got that problem in North Dakota. And I told a friend 20 years ago, I said, it's coming to North Dakota. No, it'll never be here. Yeah, a year ago he called me, you know, you were right. It's here. Tower City. Tower City, there's a girl that identifies herself as a boy and a boy who identifies himself as a girl. And they're actually dating each other. There's a conundrum, right?
Interesting.
But anyways, they were pushing the school board
Call me intrigued.
to be allowed to shower. And his dad had called me and said, you know, my kids are homeschooled, but they participate in track, and they don't want to shower with a girl. And I said, it's really simple. If the school board doesn't take care of it, you do a recall on the school board. And that's what we were going to do. It happened, it was before the pandemic, because they actually had ruled the superintendent could decide. And he made the most male chauvinistic decision you could make. The boy couldn't shower with the girls, but the girl could shower with the boys. Now here's my question. I want any school board member out there to think about this. Who's going to supervise that shower? Any adult from the opposite gender, which it would be if a woman or a man goes into that shower, they're committing a crime. The unintended consequences of these idiocies that they're pushing at us, and I'm going to blame, I will use this name, the Communist Teachers Union, Dick Archuleta, pushing this stuff. I heard his testimony on the transgender, sports law. Now, I hate to tell people don't believe this, but I used to be a world-class runner.
What?
I ran track for the Ohio State University. I ran a 220 marathon when I was 18 years old. Oh, yeah. I used to run a 4:10 mile when I was in high school.
That's crazy.
But anyways, my point is, I'll end this in one discussion.
Good. You got only 15 seconds.
Okay. An MMA fighter, transgender, broke the skull of 2 young ladies. That's a man beating up on a woman. I don't care if you want to call it transgender or not. There's no excuse for that behavior and that acceptance.
Thank you. Good timing.
I knew it was going to be fun having you on, Charles.
I know, right? It's so great. Thank you so
right.
much for coming on.
Yep. Thanks for being on, folks. Next, we're going to have a little mailbag and a little surprise within mailbag, so stick with us.
Good.
Today's households have more digital devices than ever before. More links to family, business, education, and entertainment. Beck Communications spent over 10 years building North Dakota's fastest fiber optic internet service. Beck Lightband Internet, outpacing speeds in large cities nationwide. Lightband Internet handles all your digital needs without throttling your connection to the world. Beck Communications, valuable digital connections in rural North Dakota.
Watch No Filter with me, Debbie Schlussel, for no-nonsense, unfiltered analysis of the news that matters to you. You'll see engaging guests.
It began a 444-day nightmare.
Entertaining analysis, and it has everything to do with something that happened in history. And honest movie reviews. Trust me, this is just atrocious. No Filter with Debbie, weeknights at 10 p.m. Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go. We deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Welcome to No Apologies on Beck. That was kind of fun.
It was. He's always entertaining and so smart.
I didn't have to do anything.
I know, I didn't either. It was great.
I just sipped from my jar of freedom, or my glass of freedom, and then let him roll. So let's talk about mailbag. We've got some good mailbag.
We do. We have some good mailbag. First of all, we've got the Department of Health press conference. So I made this purposely, this graphic in black, so it would note, you could see better on the bottom. Do you notice anything interesting on the bottom of that little black graphic there?
Well, yes. It looks like Facebook is helping me understand more about COVID-19 vaccines.
What I found interesting about that, Rick, was that at the top, if you look at the words on the top, nothing is said about COVID. So in order for somebody to put that disclaimer on there, somebody would have had to have watched the clip.
Yes, or alerted them.
Or alerted them, precisely my point on there. So go ahead if you want to read some of these.
All right, so it says, Beck News hosts are using their credentials to show up at pressers and ask questions. Look out, Governor Burgum. And again, Lori, that was so much fun.
I bet it was.
I'm going to become a reporter. I'm going to quit one of these jobs.
Well, I think it's time that some actual journalism occurred in the state. I mean, I hate to say that. That's a mean thing and an unkind thing to say.
And, Lori, I'm going to just stop you there because these are my colleagues you're talking about.
I know.
And at any rate, so someone wrote, this could be dangerous, LOL. Can you please educate those who do the press conferences about virus mutations being weaker? Sure, they can be more transmissible, but they are weaker. Well, no, not necessarily. Would love to know what they have to say about that. If they say otherwise, then it shows they don't even do research. Some are weaker, but not all. I'm going to start watching these again. Can't wait. Someone said, it was epic. I was like, holy moly, Becker is there. I bet they about pooped their pants when they
Seen him, saw him. Well, okay, that's just vernacular.
Okay.
Okay, so that just made me laugh too. Okay, so then on the next slide, we'll see, we've got some fantastic stuff here. I just love this so much too. So somebody's eating popcorn there, and yeah, some of these are just, I love these so much. Thank you, Mr. Becker. I quit watching Burgum's Pressers, but if you're going to be there asking questions, I might have to start watching again. You have to hold Burgum's feet to the fire because he has a way of humming and hawing his way around answering. I love this next one too. Very, very clever. Can we give you questions to ask at the next one? That's a good idea. And I do appreciate when people do give us feedback like that. So that might not be a bad idea.
I'm willing to hear questions. I'm
and
not
consider
saying
them.
I'm going to ask them.
That's right, but you can consider them.
Consider.
Was so excited to see you were in the room. People were saying that Molly Howell looked extremely nervous, and I think I know why now, LOL. Now, I didn't even know who Molly Howell, maybe I'm just not in the know, but I didn't know who Molly Howell was. Did you see who Molly Howell actually is?
Well, sure. I sure did, and she was there, and she is the...
I think I saw this too. Okay, I got it. Currently the immunization program manager and assistant director for the Division of Disease Control, because somebody sent it to me. That's right. Because I was like, who the heck is that? Okay, disease control at the North Dakota Department of Health. So thank you, Snerdley. It was our fabulous Snerdley research guy.
I was ducking it while you were saying that, because, and then you had the answer anyway, my goodness.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, so we did find out who this woman was, and that's super helpful.
I didn't know she looked nervous, but that's the first one I've been to, so.
Well, all right. Let's see. Yes, you are very good and have a wonderful show. That was epic. I was so excited to see you there. Great job. So
yes.
These are really
cool. All
cool.
right, the next one, should North Dakota recognize Juneteenth as an official holiday? And someone said, no, there's really no such thing. No, no, no. Someone said, yeah. And another one said, we officially recognize the 4th of July as the day we declared freedom from the British. Why not officially recognize a holiday where the enslaved were rightly freed from their owners? And then someone else said, what the heck is Juneteenth? So to the previous one, though, someone else asked me, one of my fellow legislators asked me on the floor today, what's the issue, just like that person did. And number one, Juneteenth is a stupid word. Okay.
It is. There's a conflation of two.
Number two, I feel like I'm being pushed in it for politically correct reasons from the left, and I don't like that.
Right.
Number three, if we are going to have a holiday celebrating the end of slavery, we could pick, as we said on our program, the date that the Emancipation Proclamation was given, the date that the Emancipation Proclamation went into effect, or perhaps the date of the 13th Amendment ratification.
I vote for January 31st. I think that would be a perfect
instead
date.
of a made-up holiday. Why do we care when a skirmish ending slavery in Texas occurred? I don't care what occurred in Texas. Anyway, so that's why.
Yep.
All right, so a different topic off of Mailbag. I watched the Joel Heitkamp Down the Road show today on Beck.
You did?
Yes, and he put a challenge out. Let's run it.
He does a show called No Apologies. I've watched it. I like it. I think it's a good show. And it's worth my time to watch. I hope he feels that same way about mine, but I'll guarantee you he'll hear about what I'm about to say, which is Rick Becker and his independent business, he got $40,000+ as part of the PPP. That's going to end up being a grant. That's $40,000+ that you as taxpayers gave to Rick Becker. He's one of the most conservative members of the North Dakota legislature. He's one of the ones that beats that drum and says, you know what? Government needs to stay out of our lives. Well, he's going to say the government shut me down. Did they shut him down? Did they shut him down? Or did he do just fine throughout the process? I would argue this. You can't complain about government one day and then take any benefit you can from it another. And I won't even bring up the fact that the cops had to come and say, shut your doors because you're running it later than what you were supposed to. I'll let Rick answer that and address that. Next time we get in a fight, he can come on this show versus me coming on his.
Wait a minute.
I love it, man.
But then he did bring it up. Like, wait a minute. I won't even bring it up. I love that. That was awesome.
First off, I hope that they invited me to be on the show, and of course I accepted. I didn't know what it was about when I accepted, but obviously it must be about that.
Right.
So I'm happy to take the fight to his show. I don't want to spoil it because I want you folks to watch his show, and then we're going to play it on our show too, most likely.
Most likely.
I've got a lengthy response. He's not going to probably give me too much edgewise to give an explanation or how I feel about it. And I don't want to spoil it here. I will say that what I got was a tiny fraction of what I pay in. And so I'm not sure if my income taxes are only supposed to go to other people and not me. I don't know. But I did love how the thing he didn't bring up, which he did bring up, which is the cops came to my facility. You're damn right they did. You're damn right they did. We were open every damn night that the governor said we couldn't because I have a speakeasy. And I shoved it right in everyone's faces. We were open every night. The cops shut us down one night, and we were open the very next night. Suck it. That's right, Joel. That is right. I'm coming on your show. I'm coming after you.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun, too. When we come back, we're going to do an off the cuff. I don't know how we're going to top that, but we're going to try.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Big shout out to North Dakota and Beck News, where you can watch the Dr. Duke Show each weekday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time.
North Dakota is one of the last bastions of sanity in our republic. The legislature consistently passes pro-life and family legislation. This session, North Dakota legislature is trying to thwart efforts to allow boys to say they are girls and play on girls' sports teams. Go North Dakota.
And thanks for carrying the Dr. Duke Show on Beck TV.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Hello.
He's much calmer now.
It's no apologies on deck.
Subtle
Thank
change
you for
there.
being with us. We are at segment 5.
Oh, you just cracked me up.
We'll be doing an off-the-cuff segment where Lori will be asking me questions of which I have no idea what they pertain to. However, I willingly place myself in her hands.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's going to be fun. So we try to end the week with this because it can get weird sometimes because I come up with weird stuff. But today we're going to talk about transhumanism. Now, I was not really familiar with this term, but I saw a Gab News article by Andrew Torba. Andrew Torba said, in the simplest terms, transhumanists believe in using technology to transcend beyond the limitations of human biology into a post-human existence. up here on the screen, the oligarchs in the American regime, in particular the ones in Silicon Valley, are obsessed with eternal life and the topic of transhumanism. Peter Thiel wants to inject himself with young people's blood as a method of radical life extension. Elon Musk put a computer chip in a pig's brain with the hopes of one day soon putting one in yours. Facebook is working on brain tech that can read your mind. Google's Ray Kurzweil is obsessed with progressing towards the singularity, a moment where artificial intelligence overtakes human thinking on his quest to become immortal. I just would like your take on transhumanism.
So this is going to maybe sound weird coming from me.
Okay.
I have one word: evil.
It is.
But, and from my aspect, maybe it's slightly different from your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think that transhumanism means to move away from being human.
Correct.
And it is only being human, in being human, that we exhibit any sense of morality.
Correct.
And we are already starting to, I see it because I haven't prepped, I haven't thought of these words, but we're already moving in that direction because we're becoming transhuman in our interactions with other humans. We're moving beyond what it means to be a human being and have human interaction.
I agree with that.
We're becoming
the
transhuman
pandemic
in that
was
sense.
really bad for that
Absolutely.
because it separated people and completely isolated us.
Right. So they're talking about physically becoming transhuman. I think we're already moving in the transhuman sense in social interactions in society, and I think it is to the severe detriment of who we are. And
I concur.
I've talked before about how we lose our connections and we become atomized, we become individualized so that we don't have those connections. We don't understand what it means to have a sense of responsibility to others, and we don't understand, we lose a sense of dignity, we lose so much. And so I think that I understand the intrigue with it, but in my mind, it truly is evil in that sense.
I absolutely agree. Now, one thing that he wrote in this article too kind of echoes that too. He said, ultimately, this is a spiritual war. They are targeting our very humanity, just as you said. This is evidenced by everything that these people promote. Their values are inherently anti-human: abortion, moral decay, the destruction of sovereign nations and people. Yep. So very, very good answer.
I don't even have to think. I can just read an article.
Yeah, that's right. It was great. I knew you would know. I knew you would be good at that. Okay, my next topic for Off the Cuff is math, actually.
Math?
Math. 2 + 2 = 5. And spelling and grammar are objective and should be imprecise. This is according to an article in WorldNet Daily. And you can see 2 + 2 = 5 in there. In New York City, math education professor Lori Rubel claims that the whole notion that 2 + 2 = 4 is one that actually reeks of white supremacist patriarchy. Your take on actual math. No, she tweeted this. She said the idea that math or data is culturally neutral or in any way objective is a myth, she said. Along with the, of course, math is neutral because 2 + 2 = 4 trope are the related and creepy math is pure and protect math. She said it reeks of white supremacist patriarchy. I'd rather think on nurturing people and protecting the planet with math in service of those goals. She said them goals, but
so that's interesting because you've got the aspect in that article's title that talked about 1984 is here.
Exactly.
And for those of you who have not read 1984, you ought to.
George Orwell.
You really ought to. 1984. There's a movie as well, which is really interesting, but you should only watch it after reading the book. And it's interesting. The reason I say it's kind of multi-level in my mind because 1984 is here because you have the language, the control of the language by the left, the double speak, the double plus ungood, and then you have the other aspect, what we're seeing with COVID, which is don't believe what you see, believe what we tell you to believe, which goes into that 2 + 2 = 5 concept. You got a third layer where they're turning everything upside down, and the leftists really do believe that truth is subjective.
Right.
And to have an understanding of math, which is not subjective, which is an objective truth in the universe, but to say that that truth is white, it throws everything on its head, and that's what the leftists are trying to do. Control everything by making truth subjective, and it has to be their truth. And if you fall outside of that subjective truth, then you are one of the outsiders. We've talked about this before. So 1984 truly is here. It's not that it's coming, it's here. It's just on how deeply it will penetrate our society. It's here, folks. It's here.
Yep, no, I absolutely agree with you. And I've got a really quick one here for you. I'm wondering if grocery stores are the new target of the left and why. Because I don't know if you've noticed, at first it was the Boulder, Colorado shooting with 10, grocery store. Then BLM targeted the Wegmans in Rochester, New York in the same week. A heavily armed man was arrested Wednesday of this week afternoon in a supermarket in Atlanta, just 2 days after the mass shootings. And police say 22-year-old Rico Marley entered a public store and was seen walking to a restroom carrying a rifle. But he just had 2 long guns, 3 pistols, and was wearing body armor. So I'm wondering, is this all coordinated? Because all of a sudden, it used to be school shooting. Now all of a sudden, all the grocery stores are. Do we have to arm up at the grocery store?
You should arm up everywhere.
Yes, you should.
Because if people were armed up at the grocery store, maybe that wouldn't have happened. And let me just say, for the record, BLM is a Marxist, racist, violent organization, in case you were wondering.
He's not wrong. Thank you very much. Good off the cuff again. All right, so next time you can join us on Monday after the weekend, and we will have some interesting stuff. Do you have something that you wanted to talk about?
Oh yeah. I'm going to bring up the Joel thing. I'm going to be on Joel's show tomorrow. We pre-record Friday, folks. Don't forget. So on Monday, I'm going to talk about what we did on Joel's show.
Sounds good. Also, David Owen and Mary Jane Token will be on as well. So join us then. We'll see you.